Hello, everyone. I have another awesome quality story from my audience, so let's get into it. So, when they say, enjoy the time you have with your older family members, because you never know how long you have? Well, that is true. Um, basically, my great great grandpa, um, we used to go over to his house all the time. I remember, especially a couple of years back, like probably, yeah, I'm gonna say 10 years. It could be less than that, but I'm just gonna say 10 years. So 10 years ago, we used to go there on weekends. We actually used to watch TV. We used to chill and talk. We used to help him around the house, laundry, dishes, you know, we used to help him anyway. We always like to help out family, right? Um, every time we came back, we'd have lunch or something. Sometimes he would make a bologna sandwich. He liked making sandwiches. There's a few times I made sandwich too. He has like a toaster. You toast the bread. You put the mustard on it, mayo, and you know, I did that a few times. Sometimes I come over. My one parent helps out around the house and just tidies up a little bit. It's not like his house was like messy. It was just a little, just organized. Just need a little cleanup. Like, the counters need a wash. Maybe a little bit of dishes. Maybe the floor needs washed. Stuff like that. But nothing out of the ordinary. You know, we'd sit there, watch a movie. He'd ask how school is, how's life going, stuff like that. Or he'll tell stories about his life, and I always learn something new every time you go there. You know, when you know family, yeah, you know your family, but there's a lot of stuff that you don't know. You don't know like you know your family, but you don't know everything. Some things families keep in secret or they don't want to talk about. Um, Other than that, it was pretty awesome. I always thought his house was a really cool setup because it was unique, it was different. It's just like because his house is from like the olden days, right? His house was pretty cool. Um, there was one year he got a really nice for I don't know if it was Christmas or something. The whole family shared money to get him a really nice TV, a big upgrade, like a flat screen TV, 40. I don't know if I think it was a 50-inch or something like that. Um, Teaching him it took him a while to understand how the TV works, right? And that's just how it is, because back in their day, there wasn't any technology, there wasn't any TV. It was just a different time. It was a different world. And getting them used to the technology and stuff is kind of difficult. But they get through it just like everyone else. um but it was pretty cool. I honestly miss those days, just sitting there watching TV. There was always some good TV shows all the time. I remember sitting there watching it with him. Sometimes we watch some cowboy shows, or you know used to watch some ghost shows, and used to perk up and tell me how fake it is and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Or he'll talk about how he saw Terry Fox. He was running you know and I was like, whoa, really? And he's like, yep. you know Stories of people he's seen that I didn't get the opportunity to see you know um and yeah, it's pretty cool. Or helping them with the lawn and stuff, like helping them outside with chores and stuff. like when it gets like to springtime, you want to get the leaves off the ground, his bags, you can do that. Or talk to his neighbors, because family friends used to be really close to his neighbor. He had a really cool, nice neighbor that was really awesome, that they used to socialize all the time. She was really nice, actually. She used to give us candy all the time. You know, um, we used to joke around, and used to call her the second candy lady. You know, Because every time she came around, she always had sweets. She would always give us some sort of candy of some sort. It's really nice. Or chips. Different varieties of candies, you know? So it was pretty cool. Um our sometimes what we would do on the cheap side, before we go over, we'd pick up a drink for everyone, you know, whatever my grandpa wants, or hopefully he likes. You know, we'd go to the dollar store, we'd pick up drinks and stuff. So we wouldn't have to worry about the drinks. And then we'd go to like somewhere we know that he might like. Like we would like one family member would ask him, "What do you like to eat?" And he would say, you know, he when it came to fast food, he seemed like a pretty basic eater when it came to fast food. He'd be cool with like a hamburger or a hot dog, something basic. Um, something like that. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. There's a few times we brought pizza back. A few times we brought Subway back. He likes Subway like everyone else. I haven't met one person who doesn't like Subway. Um, you know, because yeah, there was a small selection of restaurants, but there was always something. You know, yeah, it was pretty cool. Um, yeah, so we'd always when we went to his house, there was always something to do. He had a really nice backyard, a really big backyard. It was really cool. Um, when when my grandpa was a little bit in the younger days, and I'm talking about when I was super young, we used to hang out in the backyard. It used to be nice, It used to be a nice place to hang out. Um, he has a really nice scooter to drive. Because scooters are pretty cool. They are expensive, but they are pretty cool to drive, to be honest. Um, yeah, thank you for listening to my story. I hope my audience can relate to my story in some sort of way. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow with another awesome quality video. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.